guys, welcome to the Camp Chronicles podcast. I'm Summer.
And I'm Ellen.
And we're going to be diving into all things camp related topics. Just a little bit of a background story. I went to Tyler Hill for the past 3 summers. I had the 11-year-old the most recent summer, and I've had the same girls, so I've grew up with them.
So I have been to Camp Echo for the past 3 summers, and I've worked with girls ranging from like 14 to 16 years old, and I've been a general counsellor and I've been a lead counsellor for the past 2 summers, and I am also getting ready to go back for my 4th summer in 2025. So obviously going to camp for the first time, there are a lot of culture shocks, you know, coming from living in the northeast of England, both of us, then going over to work in New York and Pennsylvania. There was a lot of things that are different about America in general, let alone going and working at a summer camp. So as you can imagine, when you go for like orientation, it is very, very overwhelming. I don't know, did you find that there'd be a lot of culture shocks at first during orientation?
Oh, 100%. I think from even just getting on the bus to getting off the bus when you get to camp. For me, it was, we drove down the camp driveway and it was just so much clapping and cheering, you could hear it. And like all of a sudden it kind of hits you like, I'm at camp. And then like when you get off the bus, everyone's hugging each other and they're so happy. And then you've got, as a first timer, you see all the returners reunite. And then it's kind of, you don't know who to go to at first, which can be a bit of a shock. But it didn't take long for us to all get to know each other and get chatting and things like that.
Yeah. It's crazy as well, I think, experiencing it from both sides. When I went my first summer, like the general counsellors were the last group of arrivals. So by the time we got there, literally all the other staff, bar the American staff, were already at camp. We were coming in and there was all the waterfront staff, all the activity staff, high ropes, lifeguards, and all the sports and athletics and stuff were already there. So like when our bus pulled up, it was like, oh my God, there's so many people and I bet they all know each other already. It was a bit scary, to be honest. But then on the flip side, last year and this summer as well, going back, but being the one that was standing there whilst everyone else arrived was like really nice. It made me feel really overwhelmed though. Like if I'm overwhelmed as well, I just want to cry. But like it was like happy tears. So I was like standing there when everyone was getting off the bus thinking, oh, I really need to hold these tears back.
The feeling kind of being back at camp as a returner is just, I think, second to none. It feels like you're back home and you're so comfortable, and it is so nice to be on that other side and be able to welcome all those people, because you know how it felt just a year ago. You were in the same position as them. So it's nice to be able to be that helping hand and be the person that does the camp tours and shows everyone around and shows them to the bunks and things like that. How did you find like your first night at camp, or like such like your first morning?
It was weird. Like obviously the first night, like sleeping in the cabin, there was my first summer, there was 2 people already in there, and like it's just like, okay, this is your cabin, this is where you're going to be sleeping for the next like 8 or 9 weeks. Like here, choose which bed you want. And then it's like there's like not really much structure. Like everyone's like going to bed at different times because some people are still jet lagged, and it's a bit weird. Like I very much like having a bit of structure, so that kind of threw us off. And then obviously on the morning you wake up to reveille, this pure trumpet type sound blowing down the speakers, which I'm assuming is the case at most camps. It's just
we had it as
crazy,
well.
isn't it?
Yeah, reveille's definitely a different type of alarm, to put it that way, and it's something you definitely have to get used to during orientation. We had the first 2 mornings at camp where we didn't have it, and then after that it was kind of our wake up call to get used to it for them when the campers get there. And I remember like the first morning hearing it as a returner, it was like it brought that homely feeling back.
Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? It literally makes you feel like you're in a movie. It makes you feel like you're literally in the Parent Trap or something when you hear that go off, and then everyone gets up out of bed and gets ready and goes and stands around the flagpole. That's another thing actually. That was a culture shock. The people that they actually do, like I don't know if they do it at your camp, but do the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff, and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. It's so weird.
We didn't do that, but we did raise the flag around the flagpole, and that's when you'd announce any birthdays, or the head girl side would say whatever they needed to say, any announcements, but they would like tap their chests when they like rose the flag. But like I remember, and I still do it now, I kind of stand awkwardly, I don't know, like I don't know whether I should tap my chest or not. I feel
Yeah.
like at this point I probably should, the amount of times I've been to America. But I kind
Hmm.
of remember just standing there awkwardly. I was like, I like keep my arms folded. Do I put my arms behind my back? Like, how do I stand? Like, do I tap my chest? Would they find
Yeah.
it disrespectful if I didn't tap my chest? Like, I didn't know what to do, but it's definitely something you get used to. But we kind of, before big sporting events, the only kind of thing we do, which again, I kind of stand awkwardly at, is we sing the national anthem,
Oh my
and
God,
then at
yeah.
the end of the national anthem, the way it goes, it ends with "Home of the Bears" because that's our camp mascot, and then
Yeah.
everyone just goes absolutely crazy at it. So that's kind of the only thing we do.
Yeah, we have the national anthem as well, but yeah, they do the pledge of allegiance during flag raising, and sounds so stupid, but like the second summer I was there, I was like the only British staff member that was a lead, and obviously everyone else was American, and like I feel like I didn't want to stand there like you were saying and say nothing. I didn't want to know what to do with my hand, and then I was kind of just standing there, and I was just like, I'm gonna have to speak in an American accent, otherwise it sounds stupid. Rather than being like,
Yeah,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. It sounds so wrong.
America.
America.
No, that's so funny. Do you have the Happy Birthday song where it's like Happy Birthday, like and it's a chant, and then at the end it goes really fast, and I still to this day have no idea what it says. I'm like, wish you a happy
Is it this
birthday.
one? It goes, Kings and Queens and Bishops, do we wanna wish the best to you? So wish day, wash day, what do you say, birthday? Happy birthday to you, the stars in the air, people dancing everywhere, happy birthday, ah, happy birthday, ah, happy birthday, ah, to you, ah, ah, HAPPYBRTHDA, by the way, happy birthday. That's the whole thing. And then the skip around the pole.
We do up to where you said the stars part, but then we say skip around the pole, skip around
Yeah.
the pole. Then whoever's birthday it is has to skip around the pole in front of the whole of girls' side.
Camp birthdays look like so much fun though. I kind of wish I had a camp birthday. I think it would be amazing.
For me, I turned 21 this summer at camp, and it was just like
Hmm.
the most insane birthday ever. I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine not having a camp birthday now. It's so good.
I love that. Another thing as well, I don't know how you found it, but I think it was probably a bit of a shock and like an adjustment period, is like living in a cabin with other people. Pretty much all staff, apart from leadership, lived in a cabin with the kids.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how you found it, but it's a bit of an adjustment, isn't it?
Got to think like you're working with these people, what, 6 days a week,
Hmm.
24 hours a day. It's like you live with these people, you literally eat with these people, you go to sleep in the same place, you go to all the activities unless you're a specialist counsellor. And it's definitely an
Hmm.
adjustment because if you think in a normal workplace, you go to work with them for what, 8 hours a day, and then you go
Yeah.
home, you live your own lives.
I mean, it's like obviously hard at first, and there's like some things that are harder than others. Like for me, like with my kids this year, I had them last year as well. I had 16 kids in my bunk for like a decent chunk of the summer, and there was only myself and like another counselor, and like you were saying, like obviously being in that like leadership role, the leadership team at my camp aren't in cabins with the kids, but like the leads for each like age group are, and like I can't imagine, although sometimes it is hard, I can't imagine not being in a cabin. I loved my little bed. It was in the corner, it was next to the window, I had plug sockets next to me bed, and like all of the girls, because my bed was next to a window, well, not all of them, but a lot of them would come and sit and do their makeup on my bed. And granted, sometimes their bronzer did smash and spill all over my bed,
Oh,
or
yeah.
sometimes their mascara did get all over my sheets. Like, as annoyed as I was sometimes, like, it's just like such minor little things. And then, like, as soon as that's done, I'm like, oh my God, I miss having them all come and sit and like chat and get ready. Like, it's hard at first, but then it just becomes like the norm, and it's so much fun.
It's such a nice feeling, isn't it, when
Yeah.
the kids come over to your bed and they sit and they want to hang out and they want to talk and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my favourite things was like when I was on duty on a night time, was obviously your co-counsellors would be off on their night off, and
Hmm.
then when you're on duty, you get that like personal time with the kids, and you get to sit and you
Yeah.
get to chat, and it's like you kind of in a way get them to yourself, and you're able to get like really close, and I always feel like that brings the bond together.
I think that was probably another shock actually, yeah, like about how like much you like grow to like care for the kids. Like obviously like you're literally living together 24/7, but like both like groups of kids. Obviously, I had one group of kids my first summer, and then the second group I've had for the last 2 years. They just all feel like my little sisters. And then last year,
Yeah.
so, well, this summer, sorry, some of them were JCs, and like next year when I go back, my kids from this year are going to be JCs, and it's like so cute. I feel like a little proud mother, like watching them be like JCs and stuff.
Yeah.
So cute.
No, that's
So
so
yeah.
true. I'm the same with my girls. I mean, I've had them since they were in the youngest division.
Hmm.
So seeing the growth in them from then until now, and even seeing the growth in them just from the start of the summer to the end, like this time round, I was like quite involved with the social media for our division.
Yeah.
So even looking at pictures from the start of the summer compared to the end and seeing how much they've grown, like in
Hmm.
themselves and their personalities, even like how much they've grown physically and how much their faces have changed and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's just like you feel like a proud older sister.
I know you were talking before about like how it's nice sitting having those like little conversations on when you're on duty and stuff. And that was like making us think about like obviously talking and having conversations, like some of the actual like language differences as well. Like obviously like there's the accent different, but then there's like they have so many like different words for things in America, and even just at camp, like camp lingo in itself versus like what we would call things as well. It's so vast, isn't it? Like I don't know, was there any things like you would say and the kids just wouldn't understand or wouldn't respond?
In my first summer for sure, it was like you would say, oh, put your trainers on. They'd be like, what are trainers? Or I'd say
Mhm.
like, put your boots on, and boots is cleats in there. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
it'd be like, put your soccer boots on, and I'd get half the sentence right, but then I'd get the boots wrong, and I'd meant to say cleats. Or you've got the likes of, we say trainers, they say sneakers, we say bin, they say trash can or
Mhm.
garbage can. It's like stuff like that you've kind of got to adjust your lingo to so that they start to understand. But then you've also got their slang as well. Like
Yeah.
American slang's so much different to ours, and to this day it's still changing, and I've still got to adapt to it. It might be different with you having the older girls, their
Mhm.
slang compared to mine. But like I remember this summer, I don't know if you heard it much around camp, but skippity.
Oh yeah.
Had you
Skip
heard that?
Ohio.
Oh my days, like Skippity Ohio, Skippity Toilet Raise, like some of the stuff that these kids come out with, and I'm just like, eh, what does that even mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, am I just getting old? Like, am I not with the whole
With the
like
times.
lingo anymore? Like, and then I'm thinking, Summer, you're only 21. What are these kids going on about? Was the stuff that your kids would say, or like you
Right.
would say from like a
Mhm.
northeast term that they wouldn't understand?
The main thing that I remember learning this year was mogging. Do you know what mogging is? So like it would be like, oh, you mog her. Like if one of the girls was like done up on a night and like to put like a nicer outfit on and done their makeup a little bit more, they'd be like, oh my god, you mog everyone. And it's basically just like if you're mogging someone, like you're like one up in them, like you're prettier than everyone else, like you're the prettiest. And
Wow, I've
it's
never heard
I
that
know
one.
it sounds like an awful term when I heard it at first. I was thinking, what are they saying? Like this, surely it's mean, but it's like the total opposite. And like, I don't know if that's just a teenage thing. Again, like I'm nearly
Yeah.
25, so I'm definitely past a lot of the lingo, or whether that was just like a them thing. But I was like, mug. It's bizarre, but yeah, it was funny.
That anything you would say, where they'd be like,
Mm.
"What did you just say?"
The one thing that sticks out was like first summer I was there, the girls were getting ready on the morning and we needed to like hurry up and get to breakfast. And I said to them, I was like, come on, you need to hurry up and get sorted. And they were like, what? And I was like, you need to get sorted. And they were like, sorted? What does that mean? And I was like, you need to get ready. If you're getting sorted, you need to like pull yourself together, like like get your shoes on, like get your head on, whatever, get your clothes on, like we need to go. And they're like, well, like so confused because they'd never heard of it. For like every other day for like the rest of the summer, nearly on a morning, they'd come up and be like, Ellen, are you sorted? Are you ready? And I would be like, ready to go.
Once you say one thing though, and it sticks in their mind, you never live it down for
Mm,
as long as the summers go. You'll never live
never.
it down. Just the thing you mentioned earlier on about them, like their outfits and getting ready and stuff like that with the
Hmm.
slang words that they use. I just still to this day, and I'm used to it now, but I'm still not 100% used to it. The clothes that they wear. My kids, for instance, on banquet, they'd be wearing like corset tops, and I'm like, but this is crazy. How's an 11-year
Yeah.
old wearing something that I would go out to town in? Were your kids
Mhm.
like that? Did they wear outfits which you were like, what?
Yeah, honestly, I think everything like as like an international staff member especially, like everything you get told before you go to camp, and again it probably does vary between different camps, but everything you get told before you come to camp is like, like bring old clothes, bring clothes you don't mind getting
Yeah.
messy, bring clothes that you don't mind if they get ruined, like you don't need much like going out stuff. So like my first summer, like I really didn't bring that much like nicer stuff. And then like you go to camp and the kids have all got like Lululemon shorts, they've got Lululemon tanks, they've got Lululemon sports bras. It's like they're fully kitted out in Lululemon. And then on an evening, they have to wear like Camp Echo t-shirts during the day, but like they can wear like
Mhm.
shorts or whatever. And then on an evening after like the last period of activities, they can wear whatever they want on a night pretty much. And it's like the unofficial camp uniform, especially like for upper camp, so like 8th grade and above. It'd be like brandy tank tops, brandy shorts. It's like always the same thing. And the girls would always coordinate, like would be in the cabin on a night and they'd be like, guys, what are we wearing tonight? Are we wearing oversized tees? Are we wearing brandy shorts? And like they'd always coordinate what they were wearing. And like there was me thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna need any sort of like nicer clothes at all. And then I'm like looking around at all my little 14, 15, 16-year-old girls and I'm like, damn, I'm really jealous right now. These have got such nice clothes with you because I just did not bring any.
That is something definitely, I think, across most camps, like, I know definitely on girls' side, they've got the brandy outfits, they've got the Lulu stuff. I think a big one
Mhm.
this summer was aloe as well.
Oh
Aloe
yeah.
kind of came into it. And they have just all of these nice clothes, and like you're unpacking the kids, and you just like some of them even had tags on still, their clothes, and I'm
Brand
like,
new.
that is literally going to get ruined in 2 weeks' time in the
Mhm.
camp wash. Found in my first summer when I went to go travelling afterwards, I kind of looked in my suitcase and I was like, okay, what am I going to wear? Because so far I've
Literally.
got the likes of New Balance sport shorts, I've got Adidas sport shorts, I'm like sport
Mhm.
tank tops, stuff like that. And I'm like, what am I going to wear to travel with? I feel like I didn't bring anything. So
Yeah.
then it's definitely something I've focused on the other 2 summers, like as a returner, bringing nicer clothes
Yeah.
for the travelling sides, but also nicer clothes for on a night time. So at my camp, how it would work is the staff wear staff shirts, but the kids can kind of wear whatever they want.
Mm.
And then on a night time, we don't have to be in our staff shirts, but obviously you have to wear like appropriate clothing.
Yeah.
I still ended up just wearing my camp t-shirt on a night time because I didn't really know what to wear, and I was like, I'd rather just have a staff shirt on and be comfortable than be like walking around in short shorts and tank tops, because I'm not being funny, but I get mistaken enough around camp for being a camper until I open my mouth. So it's like I didn't want to start dressing like the kids as well.
I totally feel you on that one. But then sometimes I'll be looking around and I'm like, I'm jealous of 15-year-olds right now. Like their clothes are so cute. I was like, I'm a grown woman. I shouldn't feel like I'm being jealous of 15-year-olds, but I am. Like they've got such nice clothes. I loved it.
I don't know if you find this, but in America they're so much older than their age. I feel like in freshman summer, which is like the youngest age group at my camp, the kids were 7 and 8, and they were dressing and talking like an 11-year-old would back in the UK. So it's
Yeah.
definitely an adjustment. I found that the younger kids seem so much older than what they were, and
Mhm.
then like I said, they dress so much older than what they are. And I look at them and I think, do you know what it is? Half your clothes there I would wear on a night out. So I'm like, I need to shop with you guys because you've got better style than what I do.
Literally. And I think, like you were saying, obviously, they're wearing all these different clothes and they're kind of acting older. I don't know whether it is just a camp thing. Obviously, all of our experiences we're basing off here are kind of like on camp rather than kids like all over America. But obviously, they kind of almost seem a bit older than what they are. Majority of the kids are very like confident, especially
Oh,
like the
100%.
older girls as well. Um, like dancing at camp is such a big thing, and like that was not something that I expected at all. I was so thrown off. Like when within the first few days of being there they were like, right, we're doing staff talent show, each division has to come up with a dance or something, and I was like, what? I was like, what is this? And then as camp went on I realized so much is centered around dancing. The girls do like halftime dances at the boys basketball games, and like they would do like during college week and Olympics would do all those dances and stuff, and it was like crazy just see like even the ones that probably aren't as confident or we're a little bit more shy, like all still getting involved and like doing all those dances. And I don't know if like at your camp it'll be the same, probably, I'm assuming, but like there'd be like certain dances as well that like everyone just knew, like Cotton Eye Joe. That was the one that like everyone just had to learn.
Yeah, and I can imagine that if we go out on a night out, if Cotton Eye Joe came on, we would just look at each other and we would just naturally, your body
Ready.
just starts moving to it. It's like during orientation, you could be going in and you're having a safeguarding conversation, or like, you're going into like the deeper, more difficult conversations that you do have to
Yeah.
have before camp starts. But 5 minutes prior to having that deep conversation, you're doing crazy frog and you're running around the social
Yeah.
hall with everybody. I find that it only takes 1 or 2 sessions during orientation for even the newbies to take part, and then by the end of it, you're all doing these crazy dances, and it's just natural. You know that you're turning up to the social hall 5 minutes earlier to do these
Mhm.
dances. But also, in terms of, because we both go to a co-ed camp, I don't know if you found this, but the boys would join in too. And the boys had
Yes.
so much confidence. And I feel like back in the UK, we don't have that level of confidence, especially in terms of with the
Mhm.
boys.
Mhm.
I feel like camp's just a place where the kids can fully be themselves and embrace themselves, and they don't feel embarrassed about it. I feel
Yeah.
like it's more of a thing if you don't join in and you don't do the dances than if you
Mhm.
do.
And I think it brings it out in staff as well. Like my sister, I feel like gets annoyed at us sometimes, or is subtly giving us like a side eye, because I genuinely feel like I am a lot more like carefree. Like don't get me wrong, sometimes I will still go out in public and there's certain things I wouldn't do, but sometimes I do feel like a lot more carefree in terms of, because of camp and being in that environment where nobody cares what you're doing and everybody's being like a loony and running around like crazy and doing stupid dancing all the
Yeah.
time. I feel like I like it, bring it back here a little bit more as well, which I think is nice. It's just a wholesome environment to be in, isn't it? Everyone's kind of there relatively for the same reasons. The people that aren't taking part and aren't involved in doing the stupid dancing on stage almost are the ones that stick out more. Like, and you were saying about the boys getting involved, like this year during the staff talent show, like the senior boys staff did a dance to Rihanna, and my boyfriend got up in front of the whole camp, all the staff and stuff, wearing short shorts and a red crop top with long haired like black wig on, shaking his butt in front of everyone, pretending to be Rihanna. And like, people just would not do that at home. I don't know. I think it's amazing.
I think also we have this thing called Camp Chella, and we usually do it like on the last night of orientation. We found every year that there'll be someone that seems so quiet. By
Mhm.
the end of it, will have this confidence to get up and perform in front of camp
Yeah.
and sing a song, and everybody, which is so nice, just gets up and goes crazy for them and cheers. And I think there's genuinely no place that gives you the warmth feeling that camp does, and I
Yeah.
feel like I appreciate it more every year.
I think we'll probably round it up there. We've rambled on for a little while already, and there's so much we could talk about, but we'll save that for podcasts down the line. So make sure you guys keep listening on to the podcast. You know, like we've got loads of things planned. We want to get some of our own camp friends on, special guests. And there's honestly so many topics that we could talk about. So if anyone's got any questions, or if there's anything specific that they want us to go through, like, you know, like orientation, like camp, like in general, what you do on a day, packing for camp, traveling after camp, literally anything, like you can message us on our Instagram or TikTok, which is the.camp chronicles, or if you want to message myself, it's that's so Ellen, like that's so Raven, but Ellen instead of Raven. And that's on TikTok and Instagram. And then Summer, what is yours?
Mine is just summer.oz.
Well, thank you for listening to the first episode, everybody. We hope you enjoy it, and we will speak to you all very soon.